Good morning, everyone. I feel like in the world today, there seems to be a stigma around responsibility. Some people may think that someone who's responsible does what I like to call walk the straight line. Being this kind of responsible, or walking the line, means always doing what will please others, never taking chances, and always putting work over fun. But to me, this is not responsibility. I look at responsibility through a different perspective, in a way where you have the opportunity to take responsibility of your life. Taking responsibility of your life means balancing tasks and extracurriculars, making decisions and reacting to decisions, and so much more. Having interests and hobbies outside of academics is something that has always been important to me, and in this sense, I have the responsibility of myself to keep balance in my life. My parents didn't wake up one morning and say, "Hey Sam, you should wake up early every Sunday morning and do those DJ lessons instead of studying for school," or "Hey Sam, I think you should try and jump as high as you can kiteboarding," or "Hey Sam, I think you should play hockey, soccer, and rugby at Appleby." I took responsibility of my own life and put myself out there to do the things I enjoy. I could have chosen to spend more time studying or doing what others wanted me to do, but I have the self-responsibility to keep balanced, to fully enjoy life so I don't walk the line. These hobbies have helped me reduce stress and get more enjoyment out of everything I do. One reason I'm able to explore all my different hobbies and not walk the line is because I am decisive and have developed my ability to make an effective decision without external pressure. Decision-making and taking the responsibility to make a decision is a very important skill. Growing up, I've been exposed to making many important decisions. One of the first times I really remember making a decision was back when I had to choose a school to go to in grade 1. I had to choose between going to a public school or French immersion school. I was around 6 years old at the time and really had no idea what to do. Everyone knows this feeling of being in a dilemma, having to make a decision, not knowing what to do, and as a 6-year-old, trust me, I had no idea what I was doing. I remember my parents helped me map out the pros and cons of each school, but ultimately made me take responsibility of making a decision. I ended up going to the French immersion school, but that's not what was important. What is important is the fact that I made a decision and took responsibility for the decision. Another time I was exposed to making a decision that was important in my life was about 4 or 5 years ago. I had to choose between playing field lacrosse or golf in the summer, and I was devastated because I couldn't commit to both sports. I chose to play golf, but again, golf was not as important as the fact that I made a decision and took responsibility for the decision I made. Looking back, being exposed to making decisions like choosing schools and sports has helped me enjoy and have a more positive outlook on life. I have learned to take responsibility for the decisions I make and not worry about what others think of me. When I was 6, I was worried about what my friends going to public school thought of me, and when I was going to French immersion school, and in middle school, I was worried about what my lacrosse coach and lacrosse teammates thought of me choosing golf over lacrosse. Through these experiences, I've come to understand that bad decisions and negative emotions come if you focus on the wrong problems or are indecisive. I realized my friends, coaches, and teammates didn't take it personally after I took responsibility for my decisions. All that stress and anxiety focusing on what others think because you're indecisive simply goes away once you make a decision and take responsibility for it. One of my favorite quotes by arguably the most successful basketball coach of all time, John Wooden, is "Make a decision, failure to act is often the biggest failure of all." Once you stop worrying about what others think and take responsibility for a decision, all the buildup of emotions from being indecisive simply go away, and you can live life more freely and with more positivity. Taking responsibility of your life also means taking accountability after making a decision. I love the word accountability and really focus on it after making decisions, making mistakes, and facing adversity. I first started using this word while playing hockey for the Oakville Rangers about 3 years ago. Our team motto wasn't, "Let's all have fun" or "work 110%. It was, "Be accountable for yourself and your teammates." This mindset really helped our team become successful. For one, being accountable for yourself and teammates meant that you went 100% every game and practice, and you trusted your teammates do the same. In addition, in sports, everyone makes mistakes. One thing that really pushes teams apart is when you start pointing fingers after someone makes a mistake. Our hockey team is successful because if someone made a bad pass or did something wrong, they stuck to the motto and took ownership of the mistake and didn't point fingers. Being accountable like this helps keep a positive atmosphere between players, and this positivity allowed us to develop and become more successful as a team. I took this value of accountability and brought it to the community of Poles House this year. At the start of the year, As a house, we decided on 4 values to stand by. One of these values we chose was accountability. Taking accountability in Pole's house is always cleaning up dishes left in the common room, keeping your room clean for your roommate, and the list goes on. Stressing the importance of accountability in Pole's house helps make sure everyone takes responsibility for their actions to make Pole's house have a strong sense of spirit, trust, and community. You can even take accountability one step further. To me, taking accountability is an important virtue of leadership and has value in an individual's life rather than just for a community or on a team. Being accountable is very important while facing adversity or after making a mistake. Not many of you guys know this, but a few weeks ago, I recently missed an admissions interview for a school that has basically been my top university ever since I started looking into post-secondary options. I was pretty devastated and really didn't know how to proceed after making the mistake of missing my interview. My first thought was that my parents were going to be super disappointed, so I thought I should just not tell them and hope they forgot I had an interview on the 27th because it was really meant to be a week earlier. After a few minutes of reflection on this idea, I realized I needed to take accountability, so I called my parents and explained my mistake. They helped me take action and make a plan to move forward and properly react to the situation. Although at first they were pretty disappointed, they were glad I told them and took accountability for my mistake and didn't try to hide it, and this allowed me to have full support from them and follow up and take accountability on the mistake I made. As I explained earlier in my speech, bad decisions come when you focus on the wrong problems. My first thought after missing my interview was about how my family was going to react and think of me, but this was me focusing on the wrong problem. Once I took accountability for my mistake and shifted my focus to the real problem at hand, with the support of my family, I was able to make a better, more responsible decision and follow up with the university. If there's one thing you take away from my speech today, it is the value in taking responsibility of your life. Take the initiative to add balance into your daily routine. Understand the act of making a decision can sometimes be more important than the actual decision itself. Recognize the importance of taking accountability in a community for yourself and for actions. Doing these things creates a foundation for you to take responsibility for yourself so you can ultimately be more positive, have less stress, and add more value into your life. Now please stand and sing hymn 656.